One of the challenges of the film was just the scope of it. We had a shot underwater, shots in a jungle, shots in a boring office cubicle, shots around the family dinner table, E's house, which is like Bauhaus meets Greek ruins. The variety of environments in this movie was enormous.
I'm not going to comment on what era the film is set in. You know, that time.
This film is set in a sort of an alternate universe, mid-60s world. And it's meant to kind of evoke the futurism of that age, but in a sort of timeless way.
A lot of the early influences were definitely 60s architecture.
There was a belief that the future was firmly, in the grasp. If you were a kid back then, hey man, by the time I'm grown up, we're going to be going to work in jetpacks. That idea of this kind of technically believable future that never really quite arrived.
With the retro style of the film, we didn't want it to be purely as though we were doing a historical piece, but trying to design the future from the perspective of the 1960s. In the beginning, there were ideas of, well, how futuristic is the world? How futuristic is the home versus the island? Do they have flying cars? At some point, we realized we had to bring it into more of reality and base it in more of what people were familiar with.
A key idea of the film is to have the mundane and the fantastic, and have these things, kind of interlocked. So we also tried to make environments that were fantastic right next to things that were very everyday.
I worked really hard with Lou to try to get the house environment to feel very homey and familiar. We tried really hard to get sort of a feminine touch. Everything that is in the house was probably put together by Helen.
If everything was so fantastic and futuristic, there being superheroes wouldn't be as super, I think. So that when we do get to the island, what is futuristic about it is more amazing, I think, through the eyes of Bob.
It's because the emotions in the film are kind of broad and we are doing superheroes after all, that I wanted to have a really wide range of environments and still make it feel unified, like it was all one thing.